Good morning, everybody. How are you? I hope all of you are fine. Today we will study the second conditional. So please open your students box, page 69. When we talk about the second conditional, look here. What's the structure of the second conditional? It's if plus past simple, would plus verb in the infinitive, without to. Here are some examples. If I had more time, I could travel around the world. Number 2, if I won $1 million, I could stop working. If I were you, I would quit smoking. If I didn't win money, I wouldn't be able to buy a car. So what do we have here? Actually, we have here two parts or two clauses. If clause, which have what's here in the if clause? We have the past simple. Okay, what about the main clause? In the main clause, we have could or would plus the verb in the infinitive. So please keep in mind that after if, we have here past simple. So in if clause, what do we have? We have only past simple. And what do we have in the main clause? Could or would plus the verb in the infinitive. Okay? Here, the if clause can come before or after the main clause. If it comes after, we don't use a comma. Look here. If I lived in the country, I'd have a horse. I'd have a horse if I lived in the country. So, if we start with if clause, so we have here a comma. But if we have if here in the middle of the sentence, so we don't have or we don't need any commas. Okay? We have here an example. If I had $1 million, I'd buy you a fur coat. So what do we have here again? Past simple in the if clause. And what do we have here in the main clause? Would plus the verb in the infinitive. Another example. If I studied more often, I could go to a great university. So what do we have here again in if clause? Past simple, studied. And what do we have in the main clause? Could plus the verb in the infinitive. Okay? Everything is clear now? Okay. So please go to your student's book. Task number 1. Complete the text with the words in the box. Then listen and check. What do we have here? We have here had, used, wouldn't produce, would earn. Sorry, we have here the answers. So go back to your books. So what do we have here? We have here the text. Okay, so please read and try to complete. Then you will listen and check your answers. Okay, start. Let's read it together. Hannah cares about the environment. Her car is very unusual because it doesn't use petrol. It uses vegetable oil, which produces very little carbon dioxide. If all our cars dash it, we dash so much CO2. It's also renewable. We can grow it. If more people dash cars like mine, the world's farmers dash more money. So please complete. Okay? Done? Now listen.
Page 69. Grammar. Explore. Exercise 1. Listen and check. Hannah cares about the environment. Her car is very unusual because it doesn't use petrol. It uses vegetable oil, which produces very little carbon dioxide.
If all our cars used it, we wouldn't produce so much CO2. It's also renewable. we can grow it. If more people had cars like mine, the world's farmers would earn more money.
Okay, so let's check our answers. Number 1, used. Excellent. What about number 2? Wouldn't produce. 3, had. 4, would earn. Okay, I hope all your answers are correct. Now, let's do for task number 2. Study the information in the Learn This box. Complete the text with words and verbs from the box below. You will have to use some of the verbs more than once. Okay, here is the same. If all our cars used vegetable oil, we wouldn't produce so much CO2. So what do we have here? We have here imaginary situation. Okay, so we use the second conditional to describe what? Imaginary situation or event and its result. We use the past simple tense in the if clause, and we use would or wouldn't in the result or in the main clause. And in the if clause, we can use were instead of was as the past tense of be in the singular. If the weather were nicer, I'd go out. Okay? Let's see here this task. There are 6.3 billion people in the world. Numbers as big as this are difficult to understand. However, if the world were a village of 100 people, 61 would be Asian and 12 we have here if the world were a village. So we have here if clause. So this means that all these sentences will be what? Will be result or the main clause. So in all of them, we have to use would plus the infinitive. Okay? Clear? In all of them, what will we use? We use would plus the verb in the infinitive. So here, would be Asian and would be European. Okay? 22. What's the verb here to be used? We have here Chinese and English. So these are languages. So which verb to be used here? Excellent. Speak. So would speak. 22 would speak Chinese and 9 would speak English. 20. I want you to write these ones. Okay? And we will check all of them together. Less than $1 a day. 24. Any electricity in their home. 7. A car. 20. 80% of the energy. 67. Able to read. Okay? Let's check them together. 20 would earn less than $1 a day. 24 wouldn't have any electricity in their home. 7 would own a car. 20 would consume 80% of the energy. 67 wouldn't be able to read. Okay? Now, let's go back to our student book. We have here exploit. Task number 1. Match the halves of the sentences, complete them with the correct form of the verb in brackets. So we have here the two halves, from 1 to 5 and from A to E. Let's do the first one as an example. Number 1, if we not produce, it's if clause. So what to be used here? We have to use the past simple. So when we have negative in the past simple, what to do? What to write here? It will be if we didn't. Excellent. If we didn't produce so much CO2, what's the result? We would. reduce global warming. Okay, we would reduce global warming. Number 2, a lot of money to charity. So here it's the main clause. So what to use in the main clause? Excellent. Would give. I would give a lot of money to charity. Okay, which one to be used here? It will be the if I were very rich. So shall you complete all of them, please? Okay, number 3, what do we have here? It's the main clause. So what to write in the main clause? Excellent. Would plus the verb in the infinitive. Here also number 4, the word. What to write here? Would plus the infinitive. If we, so past simple. When we have the past simple in the negative, what to write? Excellent, didn't. Here, if scientist. Here, if clause. What's the past of be? The past simple of be, were. Here, they what? It's the main clause. So what write in the main clause? Would plus the infinitive. Would be. Excellent. See, we. Yeah, it's the main clause, right. So what to write here? Would plus the infinitive. If I, in if clause, what to write? The past symbol of be. So if I were, okay. If we was here the past simple of stop, it will be stopped. If we stop piracy, okay. So let's check here the answers. The first one, if we didn't produce so much CO2, okay, what's the result? We would reduce global warming. Okay, the second, I would give a lot of money to charity. D, if I were very rich. 3, we would save millions of lives. A, if scientists were able to stop diseases like cancer. Number 5, if we didn't pollute our rivers. B, they would be full of fish. Okay, now let's go here to our student book. Exercise number 2. Complete the sentences with the correct form of the verbs in brackets. Again, in if clause, what to use? The past simple. So the past simple of this verb. And here the result. What to write in the result? Excellent. Would or wouldn't plus the verb in the infinitive. So the first one, I'll do it with you. If we recycled more plastic bottles, we wouldn't have to produce so much plastic. Okay, the second one, if we, the past simple of produce, and here would plus the verb in the infinitive. If clause, what to write? The past simple of burn. Here, would or wouldn't plus the verb in the infinitive. Here, if clause, we have to write the past simple when we have not. So what to write? Didn't. Excellent. We, here, the result or the main clause, we have to write would plus the verb in the infinitive. If we, so the past simple, the main clause, would or wouldn't. Here we will use wouldn't. Okay, it changes so fast. Okay, so let's check the answers together. Number 1, if I recycled more plastic bottles, we wouldn't have to produce so much plastic. If we produced less plastic, we would burn less oil. 5, if we burned less oil, there wouldn't be so many greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. If there weren't so many greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, we would be able to reduce global warming. The last one, if we reduce global warming, the Earth climate wouldn't it change so fast? Okay, so I'll send you the homework and please write the answer and send me to check. Okay, thanks a lot. See you.